Over 30% of Canadians are struggling to afford a home.
According to a report released by Mortgage Professionals Canada, 1/3 of Canadians polled who don't own a home feel like they will never be able to afford their first house because of high interest rates and house prices.
That's rent or buying a house. 30% of Canadians can't afford shelter. Now, that's a staggering number. That's literally getting worse year over year.
A surge in home prices is pushing housing affordability closer to historic lows.
To see what it would take in order to reach the worst level of affordability in a generation. And it would take merely a 2% increase in home prices.
With the majority of that percentage, by the way, being millennials.
Worst hit are first-time homebuyers, particularly those living in Canada's largest cities.
It is quite disheartening right now when you have a first-time home buyer who can't purchase a condo on their own in a large city. Taxes have increased, condo fees have increased, their mortgage has increased sometimes 20, 30, 40%.
Now, it's safe to say their dream of home ownership is fading. You know, the generation that was promised by the baby boomers, our parents, if you go to school and you get good grades and you get a good job and you work really hard, you can get your pension just like us and you can own the home and the cottage to support your 2.2 kids with a dog and everything's going to be rosy. Well, Dad, Mom, that was a lie. And Grandma Jean, who bought her house for fucking 2 bottles of milk, fuck you. Shut up. No, but seriously, there is a glimmer of hope. A slight glimmer of hope. And his name is...
That's life.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of vested interests and bureaucracies that are going to be very unhappy when I'm Prime Minister.
Okay. On the topic, I mean...
What does that mean?
I mean,
What do you mean by that? Give me an example.
you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological thing.
I never really talk about left
But
or right.
anyways,
I don't really believe in that.
Okay. A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
like who?
I don't know who, but...
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody.
Now look, I apologize about earlier. I was being wacky. But in all seriousness, his plan on housing and managing the fiscal budget is actually going to help Canada. It's going to help you afford a home.
The math disagrees. They've promised they're going to build, so they promised they're going to double home building. Their own housing agency said since they made that promise, home building has gone down. And that it will go down next year and the year after that. To get to 3.9 million, forget 5.9 million, to get to 3.9 million new homes by the scheduled deadline of 2031 that Trudeau promised, he needs to build 550,000 homes a year. I asked him 6 times in the House of Commons, are we going to build 550,000 homes this year? He wouldn't answer. Well, the truth is he's on track right now to building about 200,000 homes. Not even half of what he's promised.
See, he's proposing a plan to empower municipalities to speed through permits and get them passed faster by holding a carrot of money, by the way. The more permits they pass, the more money and funding they get for their local infrastructure. Genius plan, by the way. Never even thought about that. But that's really where the expensive part of the housing market is. As a real estate investor, I can tell you the most expensive part to a home and the reason why housing prices are so expensive is the permitting process in the local municipalities. That's where all the money's going. Kitchener-Waterloo, Hamilton, Ontario, Kingston, Ontario, Tirana, right? All these cities, they're the ones marking up the housing prices. Why? Well, the investors, the doers, the business owners, they got to make money, right? I mean, nobody's going to build a house if they can't make money. Nobody's going to start a grocery business if they can't make money. No one's going to start a hair salon if they can't make money, obviously, right? People only do things and start businesses if there's money to be made. So, in order for the home builder to make money, he has to sell the house he's building for $800,000 for a townhome because $350,000 of that $800,000 is literally fees, development charges, permits, the financing cost it took to get to the point to put a shovel in the ground because it took a fucking year and a half. What took so long, dude? I can tell you in the US, what we're doing right now, we're investing in Florida and Texas. I can build a house and get a permit passed in the local cities in Florida in a matter of weeks to a month, max 1 month. I give the plans. The drawings were done by a professional architect. The city goes, Yep. Okay, you setback. Yep. Okay, go ahead, build it. Go, build it. Canada, well, I don't know. I'm so busy. It's going to take me months to get to your application. And then when I get to it, I'm going to go, really? You want to cut down that one tree? No, I got to send out an arborist to look at it and see if there's any way we can keep the tree. And that's going to take 2 months. And then, oh, this part of town had a bit of rocky soil. I got to send out a soil test. You're going to pay for that soil test too, by the way. We're going to send out the soil test. That's going to take 2 months. Let me know what the results were. The results were fine. Oh, fantastic. Oh my God. Was there a turtle nest? I'm not making this up, guys. Oh no. I got to send out a fucking scientist to look at the bird's nest. By the way, it's going to be expensive. And you're going to pay for it too, by the way. I'm not making it up. Now, that's some like wacky shit, wacky examples, but it literally happens. Stuff like that. That's why it takes like a year and a half to get a permit passed in Canada to build a fucking house. And the financing it takes, right? Who's paying for the financing? You can't just buy a piece of land and it costs you nothing. The land costs $200,000. You got to pay mortgage payment essentially while you're waiting for all this shit to happen. Oh, the permit's finally passed. Oh, you need hydro? You need a 200 amp service? Well, that's going to cost you $17,000. It's going to take 2 months. And you're going to pay for it. Tax, price. So when the builder's finally done, after my giant rant, the material to build the house, $250,000. Okay, so now we're at $600,000 to build it, finance it, permits. And the guy's got to make $200,000 at least for all this trouble. A year and a half? He's got to make $200,000. That's why the house price is $800,000. Take Niagara Falls, for example. I've done this example on Instagram. By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, link below in the description. Go follow me there for my daily stuff. But I've done this video on Niagara Falls. A house is $550,000. 3 bed, 2 bath, nice old house, built 1970. 5 minutes drive across the border. 5 minutes. The same house, $178,000, $180,000, $200,000. It's the same 3 bed, 2 bath house. Isn't it location? This is 5 minutes away from me. It's basically the same neighborhood. But it's in a different country, and in that country, housing costs way less, gas costs way less, food costs way less, everything costs less. The permit to once build that house took 2 seconds. In Canada, it took forever. That's why housing costs so much. That's the best example, by the way. It's crazy. Now, where has Trudeau gone wrong? How can he fix this? How could he have fixed it? What did he do to really break this? Well, the reality is, it's been a problem long before Trudeau. I know, it's not all Trudeau's fault. We like to shit on Trudeau on this channel. There's many opportunities to do that. But this is a problem that's been going on since the 70s. We're not building enough homes in Canada for the amount of population growth we're having naturally as Canadian citizens and immigration levels. Canada is built on immigration. Before you get it twisted, don't be putting crazy comments down here, okay? Immigration is good for Canada, for America. It's good for an economy. It's how Canada and America were built. However, the amount of immigration lately for the amount of infrastructure we are already lacking and have, that's the problem. We're bringing in too much people. Now, why is Trudeau bringing in so many people? That's a bigger question. Now, we can sit here and think of conspiracies, and they're good ones, like, oh, Trudeau's just trying to get more voters, more liberal voters. If he allows people to come from all these countries and live here, who do you think they're going to vote for? They're going to vote for the guy who let him in, Trudeau. It's possible. And I'm sure it's part of the strategy. I'm sure it's factored into his mind of why he should let so many people in. But here's a more realistic reason of why Trudeau is literally letting in so many people so quickly. Economics. The baby boomers. The boomers are retiring. Right now, their age is 58, 62, 67. They're right at retirement age. And that's the biggest working generation. Has been for a long time. Half every year is getting sliced. Half of them retiring. And they're living longer. Thanks to modern technology and modern medicine, people are living longer, right? So people are retiring at age 63, 62, 64, and they're living until 88. Who's paying them to retire for those 17, 18, 25 years? They ain't working. They're not really producing to the economy. Well, they did. They worked their whole life. They deserve it. They do. I totally get it. But who's paying their salary, their pension? Who's paying their social security, their old age pension? Who's paying for that? Me, literally me. Millennials, Gen Zs, Gen X. The current working people are paying for the seniors. That's how it works. It's a great system. It's a great system. However, millennials aren't having as many babies as the boomers did. So we're creating a smaller workforce with more people retiring, less people working, more people not working. The budget's getting bigger. So what does Trudeau have to do? What would any politician do running a country? Seeing the balance sheet, seeing the trends of what's coming in the next 10, 20, 30 years, we need more taxpayers. We need more young taxpayers who are going to stay here and work a long time to pay for all these fucking old people who are retiring. The government doesn't like old people. They don't like you when you retire. Why? You're useless to them. You're actually a drain on them. I'm not going to go as far as to say they want you to die. You're draining the budget for living longer. So that's why they're bringing in so many goddamn people. Young people from India, especially. That's our biggest immigration country. They love to work here. They're hard workers. They're young. So that's why they're bringing in so many people. Now, we don't have the infrastructure to support them. We don't even have enough housing for Canadians. Now you're bringing in 1 million people a year, literally. Shit's breaking. The housing prices must go up. Supply and demand. If you have a lot of people who want something and there's not a lot of it, they're going to bid it up. I want it. No, I want it. No, I want it. I'll pay more. I'll pay more than that guy. I'll pay more. That's the story of housing for the last 20 years, even before Trudeau. But under Trudeau, it's been exacerbated insanely, and that's the problem. Now, what should we do? We need citizens to pay for the seniors and the healthcare budget and the crazy, stupid budget Trudeau has, which can be trimmed a lot. We need people, but we can't bring in too many people. It's stuck in a rock and a hard place. Now, he could have handled it a lot better, for sure. But you see the dilemma Canada is in specifically. See, the U.S. is huge. Vast industries, big companies. Everything is in the U.S. Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Chevy, Ford, computers, everything. Hollywood. Think of everything that you know. Everything is in the U.S. So they attract the best and brightest. Everybody wants to live in the U.S. Canada sucks. It's cold. Florida, sick. Everybody wants to live in the U.S. Better opportunity, better weather, things are more affordable. We don't have the same competitive edge. So that's why we got to bring in cheap immigrants, because Canada can't attract the best and brightest. We do here and there, but nobody wants to come to Canada. People want to come to Canada to escape their shitty country and their shitty way of life for more opportunity. No doubt, no doubt. But everybody who is someone, the best and brightest from France, Germany, from India, from everywhere in the world, Singapore, Japan, China, the best and brightest, the best A players, if they had a choice between Canada and America, they're choosing America every time. Bigger, it's better weather. We get the scrubs, we get the scraps. It's shitty to say, but that's just the reality of it. If you put it straight up logically, that's what's happening. And that's the situation we're in. So, what do? You take care of yourself. You learn the rules of money. You learn business. Because Trudeau ain't saving you. Pierre Poilievre isn't saving you. Donald Trump's not saving you. Kamala Harris isn't saving you. Nobody's saving you. You can save you. I don't care who's prime minister. I don't care who's president. I know the world of money. I know the world of investing. I know how to lower my taxes with smart tax strategies, depreciation on real estate, write-offs for my business. You got to learn this stuff. Nobody taught us this in school. Nobody. They didn't want to. You got to learn it on your own. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.